Hey, I'm James,
I'm Mercy.
and we are coming to you a different format again. Last time was in the car, this time the beach. Hello from Kenai Beach.
Kenai, Alaska. Look at the mountains behind us. What a beautiful view.
I love it. So yeah, we talked about talking about our Johns Hopkins trip this time. And we didn't want to go too much longer because we were afraid we forget what we did.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's almost 5 weeks since we returned from Johns Hopkins.
But it's been good. Kind of getting back in the swing of things. In our last video, we kind of shared about the valley that we were in, and got a lot of good feedback and encouragement from that, and we appreciate that very much. But yeah, Johns Hopkins, it's the Myositis Center, and so we were very grateful to be able to go there. I don't know, how do we find out about that?
Well, I know that
I think you just researched it, I think.
I think so. Well, we have a four-wheeler coming by, so we'll just pause for a moment. Wasn't sure how well you could hear us with the motorcycle or the four-wheeler going by.
Lots of four-wheelers up here.
Yeah. So the first time we went to Johns Hopkins was in January of 21. I had been, well, we knew we needed to go somewhere that specialized in myositis, because at that point we knew that James had myositis. We just didn't know which type of myositis he had. So I think talking about Johns Hopkins, we should probably talk about both of our experiences, because it all, adds up together. But yeah, I think I don't know if I was thinking, the Mayo Clinic or Johns Hopkins, and somehow I came across the fact that Johns Hopkins had a myositis center, Johns Hopkins Myositis Center. So I'm not really sure. I don't remember coming across that. It must have been
Yeah, I don't know if
looking it up on the internet or whatever.
Just looked it up.
Yeah.
But the first time we went was in January of 21. And then second time was in March of 22, and they were both extremely good experiences. The staff there is just awesome. And,
They know their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
know.
definitely do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with this being a little bit different, we have Joe and Ezra coming up. Come on, guys. We're doing a video, so say hello and then go ahead and go back and play.
Hello. This is Ezra's friend Joe.
Yep, this is Joe. He
And
gets
Ezra,
to hang out a lot.
They've been playing in the mud.
I was in war, that's why my sword's all muddy.
Okay,
And my grappling hook.
nice. All right, go have fun.
Love you.
My feet hurt.
Boys will be boys.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Yeah. So the first time we went, I had an MRI and CAT scan and things, and met with the physical therapist. And yeah, so the first trip, Dr. Albeda she watched me walk in, and she said inclusion body myositis.
Yeah, so we had been dealing with the myositis. We knew that he had a myositis diagnosis in March of 20, and so they put him on prednisone. They didn't know which myositis he had. His muscle biopsy had been compromised. And so they couldn't determine exactly which myositis. So they put him on prednisone. Things got better right away, but then just kind of flattened out. The progression flattened out and stopped, and he wasn't improving anymore. And on
the prednisone.
Yeah, and so we started thinking, we need to get a second opinion. So we ended up at Johns Hopkins Myositis Center, and that day, Dr. Albeda said, from seeing you, I'm pretty sure you have inclusion body myositis, but of course we want to verify that.
Took some blood tests.
Yeah, but she also said, you know, of course we sent all of his paperwork ahead of time, and like we had that appointment. I think we got it in November. We've known for a couple of months that it was coming up, and they said, so Dr. Albeida had said that looking at the paperwork, she would not have guessed inclusion body myositis. It wasn't until she actually saw him in person, which was interesting because I know that the doctor we were seeing in Anchorage was sending all of James's paperwork and all of his records and everything to the Mayo Clinic, and that's where he was getting the information that he was getting. But they weren't seeing James himself. So actually going somewhere that specializes in this and being seen by the doctor, I think, is extremely important.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just basically, she said, you know, I'm pretty sure you have IBM, inclusion body myositis, and then whatever, a week or so after we got back to Alaska, she called and said, yep, inclusion body myositis, and talked to the doctors up here. And so yeah, then I started with her. I don't know if I started that or continued on with PT.
You started
okay.
after that. Because before that, when the doctor we were seeing in Anchorage was telling you not to exercise. He was saying don't work out your muscles. Like James kept saying,
damage.
Yeah, James kept saying, I think I need to work out. I think I need to move my muscles. And the doctor we were seeing at the time was saying, nope, your muscles are inflamed. There's damage going on there. Until we get this under control, you don't want to be moving. Which now we've since learned that, especially with inclusion body myositis, that whole theory on that has done a major shift from don't work out to PT is what you need to be doing. So yeah, we started PT after we got the inclusion body the inclusion body myositis diagnosis.
Right, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
So the second trip we decided we just wanted to go because I did seem to be progressing pretty fast, and so we flew in,
and she had asked, Dr. Albeida had indicated that, you know, regular annual checking in with her was a good idea anyways. And so this had been more than a year since we last saw her. And not only were we concerned about how quickly James was progressing, but even his occupational therapist, his physical therapist, and his primary care provider here in Alaska thought he was progressing pretty rapidly for what they do know about inclusion body myositis, knowing everyone progresses differently, and no two patients are the same. They also had concerns and felt that we should make another trip down there.
Yep. So we went, and we were thinking we want to see my boys too. And so it turned out to be an extremely busy trip just, 5 weeks ago. But the flights went well. I get a wheelchair in airports now because it's too far for me to walk and hurry. I know I posted on Facebook. I know some of you saw the wheelchair, me getting pushed along in the wheelchair, and that's always kind of fun. To talk to the wheelchair driver and things.
Yeah. So we got down there on Thursday evening. He had an appointment with Dr. Albeida on Friday. So we did that appointment, zipped from there down to Asheville, North Carolina to see James's oldest son, Jonathan, for a couple of days, and then so that was an 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
And then 4 hours from Asheville to Chapel Hill.
And from Alaska to Georgia or Baltimore, we were up to what, 25 hours?
That was coming back on so from where we live, like 3-hour drive to Anchorage.
Not
and
fun.
Then so coming back it was, I think, a 25-hour
trip.
Yeah, so. Total. We drove 4 hours from Asheville to Chapel Hill, spent a couple of days with James's middle son, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 hours back from there up to Baltimore on Wednesday morning. And then he had an appointment with PT and OT and flew
Occupational and physical therapy.
Flew out Thursday morning bright and early.
It was so nice. So it was still snowing here in Alaska. So we saw a mix of weather. We saw like 60. No, we saw 71 even one day. And we saw rain and snow and cold.
Yeah, so it was when we were in Baltimore, our first day there Friday. Well, I consider that our first day. We got there Thursday evenings. For Friday, we ate our breakfast and drank our coffee outside because it was 65 degrees and sunny. And to us, that was amazing weather. And then the next morning, we woke up in Asheville, North Carolina, and it was 20 degrees, and there was fresh snow, and the wind was blowing.
I think we brought Alaska with us.
Maybe, I don't know. And then when we got to Chapel Hill, it was in the 70s, which was really nice for us. So, yeah. But I know a lot of people are really curious about your actual appointments at Johns Hopkins. And do you want to talk a little bit about what Dr. Albeida shared with us and how that went?
Yeah, I am kind of having a little bit of trouble remembering. Eat a lot of protein, and because we talked a lot about my weight dropping down, and so that was a big concern. So drinking shakes. I'm now taking creatine.
And vitamins. So, like we said, one of our biggest concerns was his progression, and we felt very encouraged by Dr. Albeida that yes, he did seem to progress pretty rapidly. She said she wasn't surprised. One thing is they are finding that IBM patients who spend a lot of time on high doses of prednisone, and James was on prednisone for over a year, pretty high doses. They're finding that not only does it not benefit, but it also is pretty damaging. So if you have IBM and you have doctors that have put you on prednisone, or even if you have a myositis diagnosis and you don't know what myositis you have, I don't know. I'm no doctor, but it's scary. It's scary to be on prednisone.
I'm so glad to be off it.
Yeah. And so she said that could have helped a lot in the progression of him going downhill. And then, because he hasn't had a huge appetite since then, the other thing that could help in the rapid progression is just not getting enough protein in his diet. So not only did she say we can slow down the progression, she also said she sees a possibility of a slight improvement. Obviously, he has inclusion body myositis. None of us are expecting him to be, running anytime soon, or we don't expect to see him all of a sudden be back to where he was, but there is a possibility that there's room for a little bit of improvement from as much as he's progressed over the year, a little over a year, as long as he is getting that protein. So she suggested, she said creatine actually is more targeted towards the muscle, the protein for the muscle. So we just got some creatine powder, and it's fruit punch, so it's like drinking Kool-Aid.
Yeah, tastes like Kool-Aid.
Does it taste like Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
I know Ezra had a taste of it, and
he likes it.
He liked it. He's like, "Can I drink the rest of that?" No, Dad needs to drink it. So, some different vitamins. She suggested coenzyme Q10. She said that's really important for mitochondria. I don't understand all of that, but
continuing on with vitamin C. I think we ran out of vitamin D right now. We need to grab more, but yeah, vitamin C, vitamin D, and then B12.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I do with the B12?
Yeah. So she was happy with the only thing we really needed to add the four-wheeler. The only thing we really needed to add vitamin-wise was the creatine and the coenzyme Q10. So yeah, and then on top of that, he takes his vitamin B, vitamin C, and vitamin D. Yeah.
So yeah, I've been working with a nutritionist and still OT and PT, and I think we figured out I need to do, I think it was like 2,200 calories a day to gain a quarter pound a week or something like that. So I found that clam chowder is really good. Chili. I like the shakes you make. And then I drink the Equate 350 calorie
Nutritional drink.
Yeah.
It's like a Ensure or a Boost.
Yeah.
James has lost a lot of weight. I know it's not something that all IBM patients struggle with, but it's something that he has had a hard time with. That was the other thing. Dr. Albeida said that he needs to get his throat stretched. We told her that he was struggling to swallow. We thought he had the muscles in his throat were making it hard for him to swallow, and she said
it's kind of constricted.
It's constricted, and that it needs to get dilated. So we're working on getting that done.
Yeah, just kind of slow process
there's
between here and Anchorage.
There's discussion of whether we're going to just get his throat constricted or if we're going to actually go to a feeding tube. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of relying on the doctors here to get that to happen. It's not fun. It's not fun to go through medical hoops, insurance. We know what he needs, but we're having to deal with proving that's what he needs, even though the specialist says that's what he needs.
Right.
So.
Currently waiting on disability, so just a lot of waiting, and then just trying to stay as active as I can, following the doctor's orders. I weighed about 122. I don't know, was that this morning? 122, so it's a little bit light for me. Gonna continue on, and but yeah, if you have the chance to go to Johns Hopkins, highly recommend it. Awesome staff.
So we also found out, when we went back and we saw the OT and the PT, they were super encouraging about the things that James has been having done here with OT and PT. Probably maybe you should do a video talking about what you do in OT and a PT, and just kind of share with people what the exercises you do and the different things. If you have inclusion body myositis and you have a doctor that has looked into it at all, I'm sure that there has been discussion of blood flow restriction exercises. I think in January of 2021, when he was diagnosed with IBM, and his Dr. Albeida talked to his primary care provider here in Alaska and suggested that, and they were able.
I use it every day.
Yeah,
in OT and PT.
They were able to get that for him at the medical clinic that he goes to, and so he's been doing that. So the PT and OT at Johns Hopkins, we're very excited about that. Kind of talked to him about other things that he's doing. Didn't have a whole lot of suggestions for more. A couple of different things that they might add to what he's been doing.
One thing. Go ahead.
Dr. Albeida said that
a rubber band on my wrist all the time, just to work out with. I'm just sitting around. I do that sometimes.
Yeah, Dr. Albeida said that as far as inclusion body myositis, James has his finger strength is pretty good. I mean, there's some things he can't do. He can't open like a soda can, but his grip and his finger strength is pretty good, and she suggested that he take up either knitting or like guitar playing or something to
probably go
that.
with guitar playing or piano playing.
I wouldn't mind a sweater or a new hat.
My knitting.
So that would be, I think you should take up knitting. We should do it together.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That would be fun.
Right.
Yeah. No.
I like doing stuff together.
Anyways, so many amazing things happened on that trip. It was fast. It was busy. Like, we didn't have any downtime. We were just going. Enjoyed so much our time with James's two sons. Just really had good visits with them. Had really good encouraging things at Johns Hopkins. But something else that was really interesting was it just kind of felt like God kept pointing out to us, hey, I'm here with you. I know where you're at. I know what's going on. One morning we were walking out of the hotel. We were in Asheville. It was our second morning in Asheville. We were going to go meet James's son for breakfast. And going down in the elevator, there was another couple there, and just kind of we're pretty outgoing, so we just chatted it up, talked to them a little bit, nothing, like talked about the weather, I think they might have complimented James's cane, but we didn't really discuss.
Get that a lot.
Yeah, we didn't discuss medical anything. And so we got off the elevator. This couple went towards the place where you could get breakfast, and we headed out the door. And as we were walking to our rental car, the gentleman came up and was like, "Do you guys mind if I pray over you?" And we were like, "What? Yeah, of course. We'd love it." And boy, our biggest thing going down to Johns Hopkins was the progression and
the progression of IBM
and how quickly James has progressed. And this man put his hands on us, and he was praying, and he said, "Lord, you know their needs, the progression." And I just almost burst into tears, because it was like, yeah, God's just saying, I'm right here. I know what's going on. I think James and that guy exchanged numbers. You know his name off the top of your head?
I don't. I'd have to go back.
Yeah.
We text, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so then when we were in Chapel Hill, a couple of days later, we stopped at the grocery store. I picked up a couple of things. James went to the restroom. And as we were leaving, I noticed a lady in a little
Jeff and Teresa.
A little electric wheelchair, just scooting up into her van. Now, on the way down, I all of a sudden came to this realization. James and I like to go places. We like to travel. We like to get out and about. And using the wheelchair in the airports has made us able to continue to do that. And at some point on our way down to Johns Hopkins, I thought, when he's 100% wheelchair bound and he has his own wheelchair, how does he get on the plane? Where does his wheelchair go? Because if you are using a wheelchair in the airport, they'll take him all the way right down to the airplane, and then he gets out of the wheelchair and walks to a seat. If he's 100% wheelchair bound, he won't be able to do that. And I'm looking around and I'm like, there's no place in here where there's like a, you go to the theater and there's an empty spot where a wheelchair could sit or whatever. So anyways, I saw this lady and I thought, I'm going to ask her if she travels and how she does it. So she zipped up into her van with her ramp, and her husband was putting the cart away. And I said, "Excuse me," I just stuck my head right in her van. I said, "Can I ask you some questions?" Again, we're pretty outgoing. Anyways, we stood there and visited with her and her husband for an hour. She has muscular dystrophy. No idea how many similarities between muscular dystrophy. Muscular dystrophy is something you hear about. About. You've heard of it because the firefighters are, often on in the intersections collecting money in their boots for muscular dystrophy. But I'd never really, paid much attention to exactly what it was. So many similarities, symptom-wise, to what James has going on. And so it was just really interesting to talk to them, and it just felt like a God hug. Again, we got their contact information, I believe James and Teresa messaged each other a little bit, and it was just a really blessed trip.
Yes, it was.
A lot of encouragement with the doctor, a lot of feeling like God was just saying, I'm here and I'm with you, and
knows where we're at.
good visits with James's son, and yeah. What do you, is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. It just, was good and encouraging, and yeah, just good to get out. It's nice to get out of Alaska, but it's always nice to come home. Definitely nice to come home.
It's a cold day. I mean, it's not. It's like almost 50-ish. The boys are in their shorts, playing in the mud and the sand, but you can see the mountains behind us are full of snow. As I'm looking, towards the back of the beach, there's bits of snow still there. It's a little chilly out here, but it just felt like a beautiful day to get out. Woke up this morning, the sun was shining, and I thought I'm ready to get out.
Yep.
Get out and go and do. So here we are. We thought we'd share that with you. Hopefully, you learned something. Please feel free to keep asking us questions. Please feel free to let us know how our story resonates with you, if it does. If there's other things you want us to talk about, let us know. We love hearing from you. We love to think that what we're doing is encouraging to others. That's why we want to do it. And, share it with your friends. Maybe we get some more subscribers. I don't know. It's all, it's all here for, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
We hope you're encouraged. We enjoy hearing from you, and we hope you are having a great weekend. And we will definitely see you next time.